The worst Hallmark Christmas movie never made by Les Abromovitz. Two novice screenwriters collaborate on a Hallmark Channel Christmas movie.
About time, Wanda. I was starting to worry about you.
Sorry I'm late, Stephen. Remember that if I don't show up or disappear mysteriously, check the freezer in my ex-husband's garage.
I warned you not to marry him. He stuffed me in a locker in high school.
Let it go, Stephen. We need to decide on the plot for our soon-to-be-written Hallmark Channel Christmas movie.
I guess that means you didn't like any of the ideas I pitched you in my email.
I thought the poop emoji I sent with my response summarized my reaction.
My bad. I thought it meant that you wanted to go for ice cream.
We don't have time for me to teach you emojis 101. Okay, we've got a Christmas screenplay to work on.
How about if you pitch some ideas and I'll shoot them down?
Tell you what, Stephen. Let's concentrate on the characters first. Obviously, our male lead should be a widower.
Does he have an adorable child who misses her deceased mom?
Of course.
How did his wife die?
He bludgeoned her to death.
I'm pretty sure Hallmark doesn't go for that kind of plot point.
Well, maybe they should shake things up a little bit.
It's not happening. They've got a formula that's working. In the 90 Christmas movies I've watched on the Hallmark Channel, the husband's wife died at a very young age in 50 of them.
That's true.
Maybe. If the Environmental Protection Agency should check the water in their town because something is very, very wrong.
Okay, so let's say he's divorced instead.
That works. But the divorce wasn't his fault. He's the perfect man.
Of course! And he has custody of their adorable child because his ex is a self-centered bitch.
You can't say bitch on Hallmark.
Okay, let's regroup. He's a widower with a sad and adorable child who misses her mother but wants her dad to be happy. She's on the lookout for someone to marry her father.
Will his sad child immediately like the woman who comes to the small town?
Absolutely. What brought her to their idyllic little town?
Her employer wants to turn the town into a ski resort. Her current boyfriend is a handsome, but not too handsome, Wall Street type who is financing the project.
Before you know it, she falls in love with the widower and life in a small town. Who needs Broadway when you can watch a high school play? She decides that the town is perfect just the way it is now, and careers aren't all that important.
I'm starting to feel the same way about my screenwriting career.
How do we make the woman sympathetic since she's dumping her current boyfriend for another guy?
We make her current boyfriend slimy and evil.
I agree. But why did she date him in the first place?
Don't overthink it, Wanda. Our lead actress is so wholesome, and the leading man is so endearing. No one can blame her for being smitten.
Suppose our heroine and this widower dated in high school. She left for the big city, but comes to realize after 40 minutes that she wants to return to her small town roots and be with family.
When I visit my family, I'm ready to go postal after 40 minutes. But I still think it looks like she's two-timing her current boyfriend. no matter how big jerk he is.
Okay, let's up the ante. Not only is he a jerk, he didn't support her dreams. Even worse, he didn't like her dog. And wait for it, he hates Christmas!
He's a monster! I hate him already.
Oh, what does the widower do for a living?
He's a plumber.
Not good enough, Stephen. Hallmark likes their heroines to marry a prince! So, let's say he's a plumber who's really a prince!
But no one can know he's a prince.
Huh?
He pretends to be a plumber because he's being forced into an arranged marriage in Hallzonia. Everyone he meets thinks he's a likable working stiff.
And the leading lady doesn't find out until the end of the film that he's a prince. That shows she loves him for himself.
And it also shows she's a lot like my grandpa who doesn't know how to Google someone.
Picky, picky. You have to suspend disbelief when you watch a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Let's not forget his overwhelming mother, the queen, who has already picked out the woman with whom he can rule Hallzonia.
I think we're onto something. So, how do we work Christmas into the plot?
Okay. The prince comes to America to select the world's best Christmas cookies.
Not bad. What if he comes to America to buy a Christmas tree farm? His kingdom is having a Christmas tree drought caused by climate change.
Hallmark doesn't want to hear about climate change.
Okay.
I'm just spitballing here. But let's say he comes to America to win the World Ice Sculpting Championship, and she helps him bring home the coveted trophy. Better yet. He uses the chainsaw to decapitate the other contestants.
You really need therapy, Stephen.
I can't afford health insurance, let alone therapy. Suppose you have a better idea.
Our prince is judging the gingerbread house building contest that takes place in Smallville, Kansas.
Isn't that where Superman grew up?
It can be any rural-looking town where the production company gets tax credits.
Most of the Hallmark movies are filmed in Canada.
Huh?
I don't think Canada can pass for Kansas.
We'll show stock footage of a cow on a farm. Every other scene will be filmed in Canada.
Maybe. They can meet at a bed and breakfast where the owner mistakenly double booked them in the same room. And she can strut around in lingerie throughout the movie because all of her clothes got lost by the airline.
I know you want to see that film, Stephen. But Hallmark doesn't.
Spoil sport. Hallmark needs to widen its demographic. Right now, the typical Hallmark viewer is a 50-something woman who has 9 cats.
Says the screenwriter who lives in his mother's garage and has 3 cats.
Those are my mom's cats. I think she keeps them in the garage, so I'll move out. You'll have to dial up a notch to get me to move out.
Maybe I should try writing the screenplay with her.
You and I can help Hallmark attract a younger demographic, preferably one that doesn't own so many cats.
We need to insert some sexual tension. Even though no one in a Hallmark movie ever has sex, wouldn't it be ironic if behind the scenes there's a Hallmark executive like Harvey Weinstein and all those young leading ladies got the job because they put out?
Please don't disillusion me. I want to believe those women are still virgins in their 30s. And they won't even kiss a man until the last 5 minutes of the film? What? How about if we use the always reliable inheritance theme in our screenplay? She inherits half of the bed and breakfast and falls in love with the other half.
Is he her stepbrother?
There's a groundbreaking twist Hallmark hasn't tried.
Let's look for something less creepy. The heroine has inherited, you pick it, a ski lodge, a restaurant, a winery, or a Christmas store on the brink of financial ruin. Our leading lady manages to save the business and the town with her pluckiness, spunk, and grit.
Yeah. If I got an inheritance, I wouldn't waste my time writing a Hallmark screenplay. The only thing I inherited from my family is bad genes.
Save the pity party for later, Stephen. What if the Calzonian prince buys the town's ice skating rink and falls in love with a blind skier who's trying to make a comeback and win an Olympic medal? Or maybe the prince has amnesia after an accident and falls in love with a woman who nurses him back to health. Why aren't you typing, Stephen? This is Hallmark Gold.
I want to write something important, not a Hallmark movie.
Hallmark movies are important. Otherwise, we'd have to watch the news. Ugh.
Let's be realistic, Wanda. We don't know anyone in Hollywood or at Hallmark.
My aunt is a clerk at a Hallmark card store.
There are still Hallmark stores? I send electronic cards.
I'm old school. I buy my cards at the dollar store.
I know.
Please, don't tell me you're one of those people who checks the backs of greeting cards for the price.
Of course I do. What?
Those cards are costing me $1.25 now. Really? You're calling me cheap?
If the Payless shoe fits, wear it.
I'm getting called cheap by the man who took me to Arby's for my birthday.
Ingrate? I could have taken you to Costco for the $1.50 hot dog and soft drink special.
Oh!
Yep. Spoiler alert. I'm buying Costco $4.99 chickens for everyone on my holiday list.
You do know that those chickens are raised in terrible conditions and are abused.
Did I mention that you only pay $4.99 for a huge chicken? Shrinkflation has affected every item at the grocery store, but the Costco chicken keep getting bigger and bigger. The chicken farmers must be feeding them steroids. I get 4 meals out of one chicken.
You're despicable.
Tell you what, if we sell this screenplay, I'll stop buying Costco chickens. Wait a minute. Our hero can be a farmer who raises chickens for Costco. And she's a princess who's handing out samples at Costco.
Are you sure being a screenwriter is your dream job? It seems like you'd be much happier working at Costco, scarfing down samples and getting an employee discount on $4.99 chickens!
I wish. But I don't look good in the hairnet, you got all this to work with. If you like, I could show you.
Please don't. I'm trying to get that image out of my mind. Tell you what, instead of being writers, maybe we can get one of those dream jobs that you only see in a Hallmark movie. He's a chef at the town's best restaurant, but only spends an hour a day cooking. Or maybe she owns a bakery, and the actress who plays her looks like she's never eaten a cookie in her life.
Speaking of which, do you have any of those little Debbie Christmas snack cakes in your backpack? I even eat a fruitcake at this point.
Focus, Stephen! What if she owns an inn that apparently runs itself without her making a bed, cleaning a toilet, or washing a dish?
Like the Hallmark movies where an author writes a bestseller in one evening after hanging out all day with his love interest.
And here we sit all day making no money writing this turd of a screenplay.
Quit whining. Maybe some Christmas music will put us in the mood to write.
Christmas music isn't going to help our movie. Let's get back to writing! How about if our heroine is a wedding planner? What do you know about wedding planning?
COVID drove the only wedding planner I know into bankruptcy.
Hear me out, Stephen. In our movie, ironically, our wedding planner has never been married because she hasn't found the right man.
Until she meets the Prince of Calzonia.
Now we're cooking! Okay. And they want to get married on Christmas Day.
But the prince's mother hires a hitman to kill the wedding planner and torch the wedding venue.
Brilliant! Except for the murder for hire and arson.
You're welcome.
Don't forget the misunderstanding 15 minutes before the end of the movie that threatens to destroy their romance.
I've got it. She thinks his kingdom is supplying arms to Russia and breaks off the relationship.
We're writing a Hallmark Christmas movie here, Stephen. Not Mission Impossible 12. Okay, let's say she overhears him saying something that makes her believe he hates Christmas. And of course he doesn't.
I'm so relieved. Wow. All this writing has made me hungry. How about we break for lunch? Hey, Costco chicken?
There's the work ethic that has brought us incredible wealth. By the way, you still owe me $5 for yesterday's lunch at McDonald's.
I'm a little short on cash. My car's in the shop. Makes life challenging for a part-time Uber driver.
Here's a thought. We write a screenplay about an Uber driver who writes a Hallmark Christmas screenplay that never sells, and he drives an Uber for the rest of his life.
Thanks for the inspiring words. What does our prince see in our leading lady?
Maybe she puts out for princes.
How dare you? Don't forget she needs a sassy girlfriend.
Oh, remember, she can't be too attractive. We don't want her to show up our star.
The same goes for the leading man's best friend.
Maybe we can have the sassy girlfriend hook up with the leading man's best friend.
Great idea. We'll tie up all the loose ends. We can even have the leading man's father hook up with the older actress whose face looked familiar. Someone from the original Love Boat is probably available. Yeah.
And who says there aren't any great roles in Hollywood for older actresses?
Well, I wouldn't call this Hollywood. We'll be filming in Vancouver.
And she'll have 7 minutes of screen time? Lucky her.
And don't forget we need to incorporate a snowball fight, ice skating, tree decorating, and the world's best hot chocolate. Speaking of which, I'll go see if my mom has any cocoa.
We're not taking a break until we get some work done. We've got bupkis, Stephen.
I'm disillusioned. Wanda, don't you care that our script is so derivative?
Once we sell this piece of dreck, we can work on the next Citizen Kane.
Wait! I've got it!
Oh, okay.
Citizen Cathy. Catty, Citizen Catty. She's an activist who claims herself to the town's largest Christmas tree, so it won't be chopped down.
I think it's been done.
Man, worried about the why. This is the network that has done 100 movies about princes, ice sculpting contests, candy cane companies, Christmas ornament factories, and Christmas cookie bake-offs.
Wait a minute. I have a great idea. Prince versus Princess! Oh, a prince from Calzonia comes to America to sow his oats. No one knows he's a prince. He meets a princess from Snowpakia. She wants to escape the formality and exhausting work of being a princess, so she pretends to be a commoner. The prince and princess fall in love and reveal who they are, but, and here's the twist, the kingdoms of Calzonia and Snowpakia have hated each other forever. Their parents will never approve of the marriage.
Shakespeare's rolling over in his grave. Ugh. Furthermore, the Hallmark audience wants to believe they had a shot with the prince or princess. They could care less about the interrelationship of princes and princesses.
You're right. How about if we follow the basic rule of writing? Write what you know. We write a rom-com about two struggling screenwriters who fall in love as they write a script for a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Are you trying to tell me something, Wanda? Uh, I was thinking that we might be able to go out sometime.
On a date?
I think that's what the kids are calling it these days. It's the ideal happy ending for a rom-com. Two mismatched people find each other and live happily ever after. What do you say, Wanda? Are you interested?
Sorry, Stephen. I'm waiting for my prince to come. And if he's not a prince, I'm hoping he has a real job.
Wow. This conversation took a nasty turn.
No offense, Stephen. I've never been a big fan of rom-coms, especially after my divorce. The plots are too contrived and they always have a happy ending. Unfortunately, life doesn't always have a happy ending.
I was hoping my life might have a happy ending. It would be nice to have someone to share my so-called life with.
There's someone out there for everyone, Stephen. Unfortunately, it's not me.
Well, I guess I should find another writing partner.
I didn't say that! I just don't have romantic feelings for you. Despite our constant bickering, I've always viewed you as one of my best friends.
Let's call it a day, Wanda. Not much in the mood to write rom-com Christmas movies for Hallmark.
Don't get down on yourself, Stephen. My grandmother always said, there's a lid for every pot.
Not in my house. We have lots of pots and lids and they don't fit any of them. And don't get me started on our cupboard full of Tupperware.
How are you still single? There's a lid for every pot means there's someone out there for everyone.
I get it now.
Your day will come, Stephen. But living in your mom's garage isn't helping your social life. Don't you want a swinging bachelor pad?
I'd settle for any bachelor pad. Swinging or not, that's not in the cards right now.
You need to put yourself out there. Why don't you go to our high school reunion next month?
I hated high school. They all thought I was a loser.
I guess you showed them. Maybe you'll hook up with an ex-girlfriend.
You were as close as I had to a girlfriend in high school.
We worked in on the yearbook together, Stephen. That was it.
I guess I thought there was something more between us.
I'm sorry, Stephen, if I gave you the wrong impression.
Not you, Wanda. Maybe I just wanted to believe we could be romantically involved. I guess I've watched too many Hallmark movies. At first, I watched them so
Mhm.
we could write a Christmas screenplay. Eventually, they grew on me, and I liked the inevitable happy ending. Maybe I'm not as cynical as I purport.
I feel your pain, Stephen. When I was in the middle of my divorce, I would watch a Hallmark movie and scream at the television set at how unrealistic they were. After a while, I started to like them because they gave me hope that my life would turn around.
Well, aren't we a couple of sad cases? Can you drop me off at the shop? I'm hoping my car is ready so I can get back to my day job.
Things will get better, buddy. I'll buy you a cheer up card if you promise not to look at the price on the back.
That's not going to help. Wait a minute.
Hmm?
I have a better idea. What if you pretend to be my date at your reunion?
Not going to happen, Stephen. This isn't going to be one of those pretend relationships that turns into real love like on the Hallmark Channel.
Can't blame a guy for trying.
Hmm.
I'll go see if my mom has anything in the fridge.
Sit your tuckus down and keep typing. I've got a good feeling about the script.
If we sell this movie, it will be a Christmas miracle.
Sometimes we have to make our own miracles, Stephen. Do you know my best friend Emily?
Is she the sassy one who has a wisecrack for everything you say?
You bet she is. Emily just broke up with her boyfriend and she asked me to fix her up.
Are are you sure she's not waiting for a prince to come into her life? I'm not exactly a catch, even for you, or sassy best friend.
Emily loves a man who's a project, so you're certainly her type. She can be your pretend girlfriend at our high school reunion. Who knows? Maybe the sparks will fly.
For now, I'll settle for a date who pretends to like me.
I'll tell her to expect your call.
Thanks, Wanda. You're the best.
There is one slight problem. Emily hates Christmas.
Not a deal breaker.
But speaking of Christmas, we have a screenplay to finish.
You bet we do.
Mhm.
Oh, let's write the greatest Christmas rom-com Hallmark has ever seen.
Isn't this rich? My cynical co-writer is now a believer in love and romance. I guess this means we won't be writing a slasher movie with a Christmas theme.
Love is in the air, my friend.
Oh,
I don't get the leading lady, but I have a shot at her sassy best friend, and who says Hallmark movies are unrealistic.
apparently only me. Nevertheless, let's write and sell this puppy so I can live happily ever after without getting a real job. Oh, put on the TV in the background, Stephen. Hallmark is having its Christmas in July movie extravaganza. 12 hours of Christmas movies every day in July.
That will inspire me. Maybe Hallmark will option our screenplay before the reunion.
Keep dreaming, Stephen. Let's find our prince, his dream girl. Oh. Okay. Hello? Yes, this is Wanda Wilson. Yes, Ellen Wilson was my aunt. She died about a month ago. I've inherited a what? The worst Hallmark Christmas movie never made. By Abromovitz. The players included Matthew J. Murray in the role of Stephen, and Jacqueline Elisabeth in the role of Wanda. A JaYo Théâtre production.